Welcome, everybody. We've got another edition of England in English today.
Yes.
We are coming to you from Carterville, Rise Above It Bakery on Division Street. If you haven't tried it here, it is wonderful. I actually haven't, but I've been told that. David, you...
waffles and chicken, Reuben sandwiches, and I haven't eaten today. And the great things in the air. This is a fair, Tom.
I'm sorry, but I am not going to be able to concentrate on the market with this smell in here.
Donuts.
So, and you said my favorite sandwich, the Reuben.
Reuben? Oh, man.
I'll have to come back sometime next time in Carterville.
Well, Crystal will take care of you.
All right. Well, we're here today again for the first time since November. Last time we talked to you from Giant City, and we are here to talk about what is going on in the market and what is going on in your world, particularly your weekly column that you write for us at the Southern.
Yes.
We are running one this weekend that's going to be a different look. It's what everybody's kind of been asking about, and tell us a little bit about it, David.
Well, Tom, the subject matter of cannabis, it's one of the things that, it's on a lot of people's mind. They've been investing in it. There's not a person that hasn't had messages in their email for the last 3 years by cannabis stocks, cannabis stocks, cannabis stocks. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm separating fact from fiction. Now, before we go any further, let me just say, I talk about cannabis stocks and the companies in the industry from a stock market perspective only. I won't spend any time at all talking, we've rehashed the ethics of it for decades. So that's not my subject matter. My subject matter is the business behind it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this week, as you all know, I'm doing one and talking about, how profitable have they been? Mm-hmm. So the first thing that we do in my analytic approach, I focus on the funds. Next week, as you will see, I focus on the companies. And then the third week, and this is where, because as you'll see in the column, federally it's still against the law. Mm-hmm. Yep. Where in many states it is legal, but federally it's not. So then the third week I come back in and show some of the companies that I follow. There are companies that support that industry but are legal to invest in. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at a 3-week series, and I know it's going to get a lot of attention.
Yep. And again, we want to stress that we are not condoning anything of marijuana use. We are just talking about the funds and the stocks that have to do with it. We are not here to tell you what to do. That is not our job. No. We're just telling you a little bit about what the stocks mean. Now, another thing that was new, and I enjoyed this part of it,
okay.
In your column this week is you sent me a little podcast. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, a little bit extra. What we do is when one of these columns comes out, it generates questions, and many times I'll come back in on the social media and answer the ones that I see, but there's some of them that I miss. So one of the things that the readers and now listeners will be able to do is we're doing a podcast, the Backstory podcast. So many people says, okay, why are you writing about this? So I talk about the genesis of that column that week and then pick a couple questions. We're in and out in 8 minutes, so we don't take their time. And we hit the key points about the whys behind that particular column. And I think it's going to be, it's going to be interesting to get people's feedback. So you heard it, obviously.
Yep. I enjoyed it. I'm a little bit biased because I get to read it, and I know you a little bit, but
yes.
I thought it was very good. And again, you can find that on thesouthern.com. Clicking on the column that comes out, it'll be actually out on the website about 7:30, 8 o'clock Saturday night, and in Sunday's paper the text will be. So let's get to the market.
Let's do it.
A little bit. What's new for 2020? It's been a couple months since we've talked. We got a new year. So what's new?
It's going to be an exciting year. One of the things that's new is old, and that is back in the end of 2019, some of the Schwab and TD Ameritrade came out with free commissions, and just blew the market wide open as far as the commission business model. Well, what I see this year, even more companies are going to be doing it. And so how does this affect people? Well, when it lowers the commissions, at that point in time, even with the full service brokers, they're going to be forced to drop their fees. So I see lower commissions. The other thing, fractionals.
Tell me what a fractional is. I consider myself a smart person. I'm pretty sure
you're very intelligent.
A lot of people out there would disagree with you, much like my wife. But Tell me what a fractional is.
Very intelligent. I've learned a lot from you. A fraction, let's say that you want to buy Google and it's 1,500,
Okay.
or you want to buy, let's say, Apple at 300. You may not have enough for a full share. So what they're going to be doing is, and some of the small boutique houses already have this, but the point is they're going to be available in a lot of the large brokerage houses that a lot of people have. But you'll be able to go in and maybe buy $100 of Google, $100 of Apple. Previously you had to, other than unless it's a dividend reinvestment, you had to go in and wait till you had money for full shares. That is going to be eliminated in 2020 and also 2021, and that's going to open up the door for many, many, many opportunities. And just think about this, Tom. Free commissions, so now you break even. Used to, in the amounts that I trade, it may have to go up 10 cents a share before I get to my break-even point. And, of course, I trade trading as a business. Nowadays, your break-even point is zero, other than your time, with zero commissions. So it's going to open up the door to many, many, many opportunities.
So we've been inching toward 3,000, the Dow hitting 3,000. Getting there, getting there, getting there. When are we going to get there? Are we going to get there?
Well, 30,000.
30,000.
Yes. Okay. It's not will the Dow get to 30,000? It's not a question of if, but when. 29,000 and some change now. The question is, yes, it's going to do that. But the bigger question, and I'm not discounting our followers' question, but the most important question, if it does, what are you going to do with it? People see me all the time say they're making money, making money, making money. Okay, but remember, they're building value. Until that security is sold, they've not made a penny. So, and you know, we don't do buy or sell signals. And this thing could go on past 30,000. We're going to have a pullback in here. Matter of fact, I've been looking for one since November, and it hasn't happened. But to answer the question, yes, it's going to hit 30,000. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when it does.
Okay. One thing I want to get back to there, you said, what are you going to do with it?
Yes.
That is one thing that you hit on in your column every week. You stress so you have the information, what are you going to do with it? That's one thing you can learn from David, and I can attest to that. That is something that works out wisely. So is the stock market in a bubble right now?
We got two groups. The people that say it's in a bubble is in a bubble. They're the ones that either sold out or they aren't involved with the run, and they say, oh, this is very, very dangerous. The folks that are in the market say, no, it's not in a bubble. It's going to run a long way. The fact of the matter is, and you know I'm big into analytics. I could give you 6 strong cases that it is in a bubble. I could give you 6 strong cases using fundamentals that it's not in a bubble. Once again, that is a good question, and I appreciate people sending that in. But the more important answer is, what are you going to do with it? The pragmatic. If it is in a bubble, and if you are in retirement or a few years out, can you really afford a 10, 20, or 30 to 40% pullback if it duplicates what happened in 2006 or 2000? So the pragmatic aspect is, yes, we can see all these things and talk about numbers all day long. But the key thing is I always like to say, okay, if you see this, and here's a plan A. If you see this, here's a plan B, and here's a plan C. And people make their own decisions after they're properly educated.
So we've asked this question many times
Yes.
During our talks, but is it time to buy gold and silver?
Let me put it this way. When the market goes down and people take profits, that money is going to go someplace. I'm already starting to see some of it go into the cryptocurrencies, okay? I've already started to see gold and silver start to rally. I've already seen palladium take off. I mean, it's a huge run. I don't do buy signals or sell signals, but just know one thing. We've had a sideways market for a lot of these precious metals for a while. That money, the profits from the equities, whenever the bull market ends and the bear market starts, it's going to go someplace. And that's what we'll be doing, and that's what I'll be talking about on Eye on the Market in the column, about where is the money going. And Tom, we've got a very, very simple slogan. You've heard me say this many times. If ever in doubt, follow the money. And that's where your answer will be. So to follow the money, yes, we've had a pop with gold, we've had a pop with silver, more of a pop with gold than silver. And so I'm already starting to see some of the institutions start to take some profits on this huge run and start to put it into other areas, cryptocurrency, gold, and silver. And we don't have time for it today, but then it gets into the bond arena. and that's one which we'll definitely be watching in future months.
So tell us a little bit about the local housing market sales trends. What's going on there?
Okay, that's one that probably take about an hour to answer, and properly. So I'm just going to say this: I have a little experience in it because in the building room, previous one, I had a home building business. We got in 22 units, so I was studying that a lot and very active in that. The bottom line is all we have to do is go to your newspaper and see how few building permits that we have, and that will tell you something about the new units. Okay, the bottom line is the stock market is different than the real estate market in many ways. This question deals with the real estate, and real estate is a market within market. You could take one community, and on the east side of town, it could be a hot market. On the west side of town, you couldn't give a product, that house away. I will say this is when, or it depends also, right now it's the buyer's market for many houses, except those houses that are in the 14, 15, 16, 1,700 square foot houses. You've got people that are downsizing and want the smaller houses. You want the people that are buying those. The houses that are in the 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 square foot and up, it's definitely buyer's market, not a seller's market. But when, and you can mark this down, when Walker's Bluff finally gets the last red tape out of the way and they start moving dirt, okay, and they start expanding that highway from 57 west
into Walker's Bluff. Yep.
Months before, now here the key word is months before that happens, it will turn from a buyer's market to a seller's market. And that's when it's going to be exciting. Okay?
All right. Well, you got anything else to talk about, David? Anything else that I've forgotten to ask you, or anything that has come up?
I am really excited about some of the topics we're going to be getting into in 2020. And remember, for everything that's negative out there, there's 2 opportunities to make money with it.
I like it.
All right.
Again, my name is Tom English. I'm the executive editor for the Southern Illinoisan, and you can become a member of the Southern. Just go to www.thesouthern.com to become a member. We have all sorts of sales all the time, and we have a lot to offer. And my friend here, David England, thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you.